This is Jordan Grace, and you're listening to the Social Suplex Podcast Network.
BWB, this is One Nation Radio. You better get it right. Rich Latta, James Boyd came to give them life. The Blackest Wrestling Podcast has come to kick all ass and drop it 6 feet if they kicking trash. Word, let me welcome y'all to something different. And if you dig it, man, you should let some friends listen. We be getting it in, this on the regular dude. Ravish and flow, but this shit rude. See, James don't rap, so I had to break it down. The whole network, man, we coming for the crown. Raps in the columns, I keep them both covered. Making the beats too, so the listeners can bump it. Hit us with the rating, yeah, I'm saying it's a 5. Before you hit it, talk, bob your head side to side. This One Nation Radio, and this is the beginning. It's Rich, and I'm here with James. It's time to listen to One Nation.
We got to unleash the power of the pyramid.
This is Mike Sempervive from WrestlingObserver.com. Check me out on Wrestling Observer Live every day. And also check out your boys, Rich and James, on One Nation Radio.
This is Kenny Omega. We're listening to One Nation Radio. Check it out, guys. These guys know what's up. Big Kenny Omega fans, and that's all that counts to me. Goodbye and good night. Bang.
Hey, folks. Welcome to this week's edition of One Nation Radio. I'm James Boyd, and here I have Rich Latta. What's going on, man?
Much, man. Just another day being an unk, just slowly approaching death, the more the weeks and days go by.
The slow march off of this plane of realm of existence, huh? That's where we're going. That's how we starting the show. All right.
Trying to graduate to the next level.
I want a new level.
Upper room when Jesus. Oh man, I'm chilling, man.
This
is how we're doing it. We're doing live.
Yeah,
but
because there ain't much to talk about in the show.
Chat. Yeah, we just we chilling. We was talking about our workouts. James is going through a crisis of not being able to lift the same lifts that he did 20 years ago, or as much as them.
You know what? It actually is like 20 years ago, like 21 years ago. Yeah.
So it goes
I never
like
thought
that.
of it that way.
But yeah, man, I'm excited for Texas, man. This week, AEW All In is this week. We're going to Texas. I hope to see as many of you as possible. I don't know where we'll be or anything, but we'll. I know we're going to be around the whole city. We probably won't be hard to find. So, yeah, man, I'm super stoked for this trip.
Yeah, I mean, we more or less all basically got found out we were going or got committed to going around Christmas time?
I think so.
Maybe maybe
the beginning of the year.
Maybe before, because it wasn't it. I think we may have hinted about it during FOH maybe.
Okay.
So it's around that. It was definitely around December time. We were like, oh shit, we're all gonna go. That's nuts. That's insane.
Yeah.
So yeah. Just ready to go.
Can't wait to see everybody else there. I know Trish and Sarah are coming. I believe Leah is coming.
Yeah.
Ann is coming as well.
I believe Ann is coming, yes. I believe Ann is coming.
Keepin It Strong Style, us, Floyd Johnson will be there. I believe Austin will be there. So yeah. Everybody's going to be hanging around somewhere, so look to kick it with everybody. And, I'm going to bring my recorder and all that, so, maybe get some, cross shows, 40, 45-minute shows, anything people want to talk about and stuff like that. So hopefully we'll have some extra stuff to drop, on the feeds and all that. So, but, this week, AEW, there was a lot that is kind of happening this week. We're not going to talk about all of it.
Before we get to that, right? You talked about everything. You've been on a run of a weight loss to get kind of getting yourself prepared. You almost like Kenny Omega getting ready for Dominion 2018. Or 17.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. Actually 18. I'm sorry. So yeah, Like, so what are you planning on doing? You plan on just going nuts when you get there? Or what are you planning on doing? Just like, just partaking in whatever else? Because I know me personally, like, I want some barbecue. I haven't had Whataburger since like.
They have one near me. They have one right near me, and I've never had it.
Okay, so they used to have Whataburgers like in Palm Harbor, like so, like basically like 10 minutes from where me and Rich first met, and then like there was one in Tampa, and then they just went out, and then I haven't had Whataburger since like 2010. So yeah,
Don't they have one in Jacksonville? Maybe
they do, but I haven't been in Jacksonville since like 2019.
Yeah, I think I had Whataburger in Jacksonville with Floyd, and it was the same day as like Double or Nothing 2021, I think. Or no, it was All Out. It was All Out 2020. We stopped up there, I think.
Okay.
And it was yeah. It was like, it was cool. I don't really remember it, but maybe the Texas Whataburger might be better, but I want barbecue personally.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna see what their brisket's hitting on. People talk about Texas brisket, but at the same time, like, people talk about,
I mean, as long as it ain't fried, it ain't really too bad.
Shit. People talk about their local shit, and it's like, okay, you know where Church's Chicken is from, right?
Where's Church's from?
Texas. So it's like,
I didn't know that. I thought it was like California for some reason.
So I'm just kind of just like, all right, man, if this is what your chicken's on, and I've been hearing about this brisket, we'll see. But I gotta give it a proper chance. I'm gonna go to some place, some rib shack, some place that's off the beaten path.
Only local.
Yeah.
Eating only local.
Yeah,
I don't really be trying to see the national chain.
Somebody's barbecue place, and the first name is the beginning of it is Big, and it ends when the first name is a one syllable name, like Big John or Big Ray's. That's what I'm trying to. That's where I'm trying to get some barbecue from.
And like the barbecue spot right near me is like built out of a house, and it has like the barbecue shit like on the side of it. It's really good.
That's a place where I want to get barbecue from.
Yeah. I'm so like I think I had got as low as 227, and then like I had a little fun. So by the time I wake up tomorrow, I should probably drop back into the 220s. So like I kind of like my goal was to be at 220 on the dot by the time All In came. Didn't quite make it, but close enough. Shit, I've been.
Are you trying to be best in Super Juniors? What are you doing?
Yeah, pretty much. I would love to get to 200.
Oh man,
had them kicks real nice and high, So, but yeah, man. So I guess when we get there, it's like, not gonna go too insane, but I'm definitely got a taste for the barbecue. If there's like some kind of wing place, I'm susceptible to those. I don't really know any desserts or anything that Texas is really famous for, but I imagine there will be something around. But I'm sure I will be taking my own advice, and if I can give this advice to anybody going to the wrestling show, water, lots of it, hydration, especially in that heat. I'm gonna be drinking water like a motherfucker, and these wrestling weekends, motherfuckers prone to get sick. Like, come out here and get the damn hand sanitizer, all that shit. So like hand sanitizer, water, essentials.
Yeah, hand sanitizer, water, and the correct amount of sleep. Like, give your immune system a chance, because like you gotta keep people don't account for like, oh yeah, we traveling in or traveling out, like that's also compromises your that kind of shit, and like no one wants to be sick on vacation, no one wants to be sick coming back from vacation. So yeah. For those that are doing that, make sure y'all take care of that stuff, and don't try to burn the candle on two ends, because that bill will come due.
It's been a while since we had a wrestling weekend trip. This stuff was happening before the pandemic, and we just kind of stopped doing all that shit, like traveling to the city and watching all the indie shows and stuff like that. Like, yeah. I know some of the guys traveled to Chicago for some of the New Japan stuff, but I wasn't making that journey. No.
Yeah, that's true, because people have came for they've gone to the Windy City Riot stuff, but yeah, it's just different. Like, I think this is the first trip that we've all gone together, like Keepin It Strong Style crew and the One Nation Radio crew together since New York. 2019.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So
it'll be fun.
Yep. And I'm warning anybody now, like, please don't come kicking that fuck shit. I'd love to have a peaceful week. I really would. Like, you know, I know motherfuckers be trying to see about it in real life and all this. Look, I'm warning niggas now. Keep the peace. You don't, like, one, especially with all the social suplex people, it ain't no fair fights.
Nope.
I'm swinging for everybody. So, two, these, three, the foots. You know, they you know, I want to keep the feet on the ground. How that song go? That boots on the ground. I'm trying to keep the boots on the ground, James. I don't want to do.
My mom fucking loves that song.
Mine
loves
too.
That song. Like, so at Marcus and Maryland's, Mr. Kimball's, you know, reunion thing we talked about, like, in passing, like a month ago or whatever it was. Like, boots on the ground hit. We were almost out the door. Nope, couldn't get out the door. Had to stop. So my mom could hit the dance floor for boots on the ground. Yeah. So.
Yep. It's a thing. Yeah, look, my Uncle Sterling's funeral at the repast after, they hit all the damn, you know, all the line dances.
I guess so.
The only line dance I'm trying to, like, do is, like, the Freak It one. Like, that shit hard.
What?
You know that song, it's like Lathan, it's called Freak It.
Maybe I haven't heard that one. I don't know.
It's some so deaf shit. You'll know exactly what the fuck it is when I play it for you.
Okay. All right.
But yeah, so yeah, man. But I hope everybody that's going, you know, keeps it nice and peaceful, especially this way. You know, like So in the comments, and not trying to take any bumps. Oh, brother, there will be no bumps taken on my end. No. But yeah, man. So this week, there's a ton of shit going on. Obviously, some is going to be more successful than others. There is a lot of counter programming going down this week, and I really don't give a fuck about none of that, including the show we're going to talk about, because I think there's a lot of different things I see people saying about the show, but forgetting to really talk about really why it exists. So we'll get to that later on, but we should start with everyone's favorite Canadian. I capped. He's not my favorite Canadian. But some people's favorite Canadian. Drake reemerged with a rap, singing, aggressive, threatening, diss something song or whatever. And I heard it. And at first, I was like, I saw the video, which was like a video of a video. It was some Inception shit. And then it was in low quality. And I was like, fuck all of this. Put your song out. I don't want to, I'm not script like this new way to format and release music or whatever that people are doing. So I guess it doesn't get tracked or whatever the fuck. Like they're trying to like, it's some type of rule. I'm like, fuck all that. I just want to hear the song. So I actually heard the MP3 today or whatever. And then, watched the video and shit. I saw it and I'm like, how it sounds fine. But then when you start listening to what he's saying, it's just like, what? It's like, I just don't know, like I find this guy so fascinating at how he's moved after this battle. It's like he knows he lost, but he can't sell it exactly. Like he does not want to sell the loss to people, and he has to keep chugging forward with like a false sense of like putting on for he's fighting on the lie right now, it seems like. And I just hear what he's saying, and it sounds so mundane, if anything. Feels like I've heard it before. And the video is fucking ridiculous.
So, as far as you say you heard before, I mean, it's well-traveled territory with Drake, where he's talking about, feeling avenged, feeling betrayed, revenge season. This is like his fourth version of James Brown, The Big Payback. So yeah, there's definitely that to it. Now as far as for me, the imagery, him with the guns is like, am I supposed to forget that you're suing over not like us, and you're suing your own music company over this? Like, first things first, I think it's a good song. It sounds good.
What I said. When I heard it, I was like, it sounds fine.
It sounds good. I imagine a lot of people that are, but I think the thing is, like, there has definitely been longer lasting damage to Drake than even I expected, as far as like people's reaction to him, even at this point. I mean, you know, that Nokia shit is ringing off, or has rung off. He's still a chart topping musical act, but just the discourse around him is just forever changed. It used to be, you know, people that didn't like Drake, whatever else, would laugh at him. Now it's like there's actually a disdain for him, a disdain. Like, people actually want him out of here, and I kind of don't. Not kind of. Like, I don't like the idea of someone can still make good music and you want them out of there, even despite them still making good music. Like, we did that with Ja Rule. I thought, and we look back and see, that's fucking stupid. Like, it'd be one thing if, like, there was actually like a fall off with him, and you can argue about his quality of music over the last 5, 6, 7 years, whatever, what have you, or decade, if you want to. Fine, have at it. But like, he still makes bangers. And like, this is one of them songs where, like, I can imagine, like, by next weekend, it will play somewhere. It will play like everywhere.
People are gonna be saying that let's go. Like, people are gonna be like chanting that shit and
right,
and turn up to it.
Right. And while people are still gonna be doing that, there's still gonna be people that are just gonna, like, they're gonna sit on their hands to this. And it's like, yeah, my main takeaway from this is like, it almost doesn't matter what Drake does. It's just like, there's always going to be a part where, like, this battle and the way he lost and the way he handled it in the aftermath will always be in the forefront of people's discussions when it comes to him, in a way that's going to become very tiring very soon.
Bro, all he has to do is something that most rappers really don't do anymore. He has to just give an interview where he talks about it all and talks about how he felt about it, and then do whatever. If he busts the shit open like that and then roll back out with the music, I think people would be way more accepting of him. But can he do that? Can he do that with anyone with any credibility, and actually, like, it comes out as a win and he comes out looking like a good guy at the end of it? You know, I try to think of the people who it could be. And the problem with Drake is the people that he's sitting down with are like all these right-wing streamers and all that. Yeah. Who have zero credibility within. He's definitely like doing this weird thing with people that's like, okay. Like, I mean, they're obviously like, yeah, you go to a Drake show, you go to any rap show that has a bunch of people that's going to see a lot. You're going to see more people, black people. That's not my point. But, the way the media outlets and he's going to, or whatever else for content creators going to, like, yeah, it's the Aiden Rosses and shit. Is like these people that, like, have nothing to do with his rise to prominence. And maybe he's like, hey, Whitey's on the moon, so I'm going there. I don't know, but it's like, he ain't sitting down with the people that, like, he has sat down with in the past or whatever else. Like, I think he seems like it's really weird. Like, the Emperor is like, call Joe Budden and do it.
Guys,
call Joe Budden and do it and release it on your platform.
But he hates Joe Budden. He hates Charlamagne.
It might be a way to, like, try to rebuild something.
Where could he? There's no place he could go to that's big enough, and I'm assuming in his ego, that would justify him going. Like, what is he going to do? Go to Rory Mall? He already got them in his pocket. He's not finna go. He's not finna send out academic. He already got them in his pocket. And by pocket, I don't mean like he's paying for them, but like them people, they already, in that camp as far as, being on that side. So it's like, I ain't gotta give them anything.
Yeah. And then there's like independent creators and stuff like that, but I don't think he'd do that. Like,
who?
I was like, there's independent creators. You know, Ebro has the Apple Music thing that he does sometimes, but even Ebro
was on his ass too, though.
Yeah, it's almost like you need somebody new, but like, I don't know. Like, I feel like he hasn't done a good job getting his actual message out post, the battle and stuff like that. He's tried to keep it about the music, but it's like the stuff we want to hear you
isn't about the music
solve
at this
isn't
point.
about the music.
It's about
Correct.
It's about, hey man, like it seems like this whole entire industry you've pissed off or at odds with. What the hell happened? Can we hear from your perspective? And I guess he's trying to give us that as far as like, this vengeful track, but it's like, this sounds like this song isn't any different from any other Drake song over the last decade that you could play as far as placing it. Like, there's nothing specific about it. Like, when you heard Whacked Out Murals, I'm not compared to Kendrick Lamar, so it's like, but that was like, clearly people wanted to hear what he had to say post that. And that's what we got. And he basically put that in the first song and then moved on. Like, next song after that is Squabble Up, I think, or some shit like that. This is like, he put out the party shit. And then like, it seems like a rollout for, was in shit called Iceman, or we think it's called Iceman?
Iceman.
Right.
Yep.
So it seems like
what a terribly timed, like what a terrible album title for the time we're in right now. No, just Iceman, like ice all these ice raids and these ice raids and shit going on in this country and stuff like that. Like, that's just something that I thought of, and I'm just there's nobody around him to raise a hand and be like, hey Drake, there's like ice raids going on. You should not call yourself the Iceman right now. Like, no, man. And you're he's
Canadian.
No.
He's Canadian.
Yeah.
Maybe he's like, look, man, that's not my.
Yeah. Interesting.
Maybe I didn't think about that, but it's like, but he's also Canadian, so it's like, should he? Maybe he should, because he lives here a lot, but
lives in Texas. Yeah. Look, I know he know what ice looked like. So
before that was California, so
yeah.
I don't know, man. But yeah,
I want to hear like some of the other songs that are going to be linked with this, whatever. I think it was like this episode, and it was like, I don't know. It was like a long thing to watch, and this was part of it. And I think there were other songs
YouTube,
as well.
Or not YouTube, but on Twitter. I didn't see the whole whatever. It was a longer form thing. I didn't see that. All I only saw was like the part of the song.
Yeah. So, if there's any advice I can give, do an interview, Drake. It's the fucking easy. It's a straight line. Like, you just got to find out who to do it with.
Yeah, I guess.
But moving on. So it was the 300th episode of AEW Dynamite. Before we review the show, 300 episodes of AEW Dynamite, for my money, is the best pro wrestling show I've ever watched. Smoking Monday Night Raw, better than Nitro. I've watched select episodes of like Mid-South, Mid-Atlantic. I know people like to talk about ECW TV and stuff like that. It's just like, no, man, we're doing, I think like nowadays, like the pressure that AEW was under, the time it formed in, made it a higher degree of difficulty, and they've produced excellence pretty consistently. As far as we've been reviewing the show, we've been reviewing that show since 2019. It's coming up on 6 years we've been reviewing that show, and it's like tons of great matches. Imagine making like your 25 best Dynamite matches and the quality that you'll have like on that list. Like, it would be crazy. We've seen just all these guys that we have followed and we're watching in other countries and everything, come make the transition to American TV. We saw people from WWE jump over. We saw people get reinvigorated. We saw people drop out the sky. We saw new wrestlers and stuff like that. And I think it's been, I would say one of the brighter spots in my pro wrestling fandom watching AEW and, Dynamite itself just as a standalone, and Collision had his 100th episode this past week too, which, we said Collision shouldn't exist, but it's chucked on, so, I don't know, man. I think it's not really close, like, as far as like, but I don't even know if evaluating it like that does Dynamite the justice of what it is. Like, yeah, it's the best wrestling show ever or whatever, like weekly TV, whatever. I don't know if that does it justice just to stop there, because I think there's other things about it where it's like, it's not just that's the best. It's like, look at the stuff they like rolled out. Like, yeah, man, we're going to roll Ray Phoenix versus Nick Jackson out there on like week, I don't know,
first 5 weeks or some shit like that.
Yeah. In the middle of like the ratings war where they stomp out NXT, that whole thing, and they're taking like these, basically doing these things that like traditional pro wrestling would tell you, hey, you don't do that or whatever. This tag team guy against this other tag team guy, as we knew them at that time, and it's like in a singles match, it's like, what are you doing? Get like, John Moxley in the ring, get Kenny Omega in the ring, like, and it was just like, they did a lot of cool things or whatever, and they continue to do cool things. Yeah,
I saw people complaining online about like, enough with the all-star tags. I'm like, you don't get this. You just don't. You don't, like, no, man.
It had to be a Fed fan.
Apparently it was, but it's like, hey, man, you don't get it. You don't get it. Like, it's cool to have the shared universe of all the toys come and play, or you make all the toys play with each other. Like, that's, like, the all-star tags are fun. Like, you have a party match, they do cool stuff, and then, like, you progress storylines within all the stuff, or you trade off, like, rivals inside of it. It's really simple. And it was also, like, that was one of the, like, characteristics, that's the word I'm going for, that stuck out when AEW first started. Was like, yeah, they would throw like team good guy versus team bad guy out there, multi-person tag, and someone's going to take a pin. And we kind of lost sight of that at the beginning of 2024, and I'm glad we're back to this, because that was a thing that made AEW distinct. It gave its own identity. So yeah, man, like, as you mentioned, like, lots of wrestlers that were known to people or unknown to people, got a chance to shine, got a chance to have awesome matches, have great moments. And I don't mean that like how people shit on WWE for talking about moments all the time. Like, actually, like, moments are cool in pro wrestling. You know what happens in matches? Moments. When someone wins a loss, that's a moment. So yeah, man, it's been really fun, and I'm glad this thing happened. And like, people always say that, or people say this often, like Tony Khan has saved American pro wrestling. I mean, I wouldn't go as far as that, but he's definitely, I think he's definitely changed it for the better. Cause like, I mean, as you mentioned, it ain't even fair to compare AEW Dynamite to like any other weekly episodic run of American pro wrestling, major or minor. It's not fair. Like, yeah. Where the fuck else are you gonna find a Danielson Omega draw, 30-minute draw?
Like,
where are you gonna find? Where are you gonna find one of the Takeshita Darby Allin matches?
Or the Ospreay and Takeshita match that happened in Boston. Draw that Swerve and Ospreay did, the Danielson and Hangman draw, and the rematch. Where are you gonna find all the great Young Bucks matches?
Where are you gonna find Young Bucks versus Private Party?
Yeah, it's a lot, man. Like there's a lot of great matches. Guts?
Any of them?
Yeah, like. It's like, like the more you add this stuff up, and I haven't.
There have been some of these, but like, Cody's last match at AEW is a Sammy Guevara match for the TNT title and ladder match. That was a great match.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's stuff like that. It's just like goes just under the radar in this company. Like, hell, the tournaments that they would have. that you have. Where it's Continental Classic, you get part of that on Dynamite, or you would get like the
original trios tournament.
Yeah, best of sevens, right? Like think of some of like the hell, screw it. Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker.
Yeah, the first one.
Yeah. That match went off out of nowhere.
Yeah, they did a lot, man. And then like, you know, it wasn't just them existing either. It was like, I think coordinated efforts from obviously WWE trying to run head to head with it, basically just make sure it doesn't get off the ground. You've got the internet stuff like of launching a company in the social media age where it's just everyone has an opinion about it, or like everyone has like people found a way to do actual grifts and build entire like personas around doing this, and literally became enemies of the state between your Bischoffs, Cornettes, and everyone that followed their lead or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I saw I guess Busted Open, and it was like a clip of LaGreca and I believe it was Sam Roberts, and they were doing this person or this person, and they went through the whole gamut of like Athena, Mercedes, Willow, Chris Statlander, Charlotte, Stephanie Vacour, and then eventually ended through all of that with like, who's the best women's wrestler? And they ended up with like, oh yeah, Rhea Ripley's the best women's wrestler. And I was like, what? Huh? Like, that's what you mean by grifts. It's like, she ain't even the best women's wrestler in the promotion that she's in.
It's amazing. But yeah, they were fighting all this, like, you know, you're fighting the incumbent essentially. And then like the fans of that incumbent that turn their ire on you for existing. So there's a lot of that. And, you know, I don't want to make it sound like the little promotion that could.
How dare you exist, and how dare you not, just be a complete copycat of what of the other one. It's so weird. It's weird.
Right. So like I was saying, I don't want to make it sound like it's a little promotion that could and stuff like, but you know, no one's getting pro wrestling started without substantial capital like the one AEW had. So like, you can be TNA, you can be ROH and go out of business and then get bought by one of the guys that have all the money. Either it's TKO or it's Tony at this point. So
at this stage of the game, you're right.
Yeah, it's like late stage pro wrestling essentially. Like, and you know, we'll see how long this war goes on. Like, as far as, because like, obviously, the counter programming has gone up a notch. I think every major AEW pay-per-view this year has faced counter programming to some extent. None bigger than this week, where there's an NXT show head-to-head. There's a pay-per-view at night in Atlanta. Or excuse me, not a pay-per-view. There's Saturday night's main event, which was on network TV. And then a pay-per-view on Sunday, which was haphazardly slapped together. And I might as well bring it up now. That'll put two segments in one. But Evolution, I hear so many people bringing up the idea that it's a setup for the women to fail, or whatever, and this is going to be an excuse for them not to do it anymore. While that may be true, they don't care about the women. Like, this is not about the women. This is fucking with AEW and fucking with the news that comes out of it. Like, there's only so much space on the timeline. They're trying to reserve some of it. This thing is not about, hey, you know, they want to show some equality today and give the women their own show, the long-awaited part 2. No, like, they already got that arena that weekend for the real thing they want to do on Saturday or whatever. Like, at Saturday night, they want to do this thing on Sunday. This is like the add-on or whatever that they're doing. They figured they got people in town, so they might as well double up, and it's backfired on them because it did not draw that second night. I think the first night will end up doing well, but that second night, it's not really about the women and then the built-in excuse of it not doing well. They don't care if it does well or not. They just want a piece of the news cycle from All In. They want to distract from that. So, like, I think a lot of people are missing that because they're too married to the idea of performative things, like as far as, supporting women's wrestling and stuff like that. It's like, it's a great thing, like that women have their own show. I'm not saying it's not, but it's not really about that.
I think for me, I agree with what you said, but the part where it not being about that is actually like extra disheartening. Because it's like,
if anything, I try to inspire hope.
Because it's like, damn, man, like y'all actually could like. Remember, like that was the best pay-per-view that year in 2018 was Evolution.
If they wanted to do this shit for real, the real way, in a real way, like your boy would say, they could do it,
right,
or whatever.
Like
but
that was
just don't pass the smell test.
Right. Like 2018 Evolution was the best pay-per-view the main roster put on in 2018. So like the idea that after it does it, and like you go through it, and it's like at that point in time, it was one of the greatest pay-per-views they've ever put on. And now it's like, okay, so Io and Rhea, and then a bunch of other shit just seemingly, Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair are a tag team. All of a sudden, they're in a 3-way or 4-way, whatever else. There's a battle royal. Like there is a Naomi in a Jade match that actually has some build. That actually is a legit match has been like, all right, that's been in the chamber. But yeah, it's just like whenever they announced it with enough time to get to where they need to get as far as building up matches for this thing to sell it and to get, build interest and make people be compelled to want to tune in or show up. And they just haven't done it. And it's like, all right, man. Like,
I got the card.
These
here,
kind of
down.
Okay, go ahead.
We got JC Jane versus Jordan Grace for the NXT Women's title. Io Sky versus Rhea Ripley, as you mentioned, for the World Belt. 4-way tag, Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez against Alexa Bliss and Charlotte versus Sol Ruka and Zarya and versus Asuka and Kairi Sane. There is a battle royal for a Women's World Championship match at the Clash in Paris, excuse me. We have Tiffany Stratton versus Trish Stratus, which, brother, I don't know about that one. Jade Cargill versus Naomi in a no holds barred match, and then a 3-way match for the Women's Intercontinental title. Becky Lynch versus Bayley versus Lyra Valkyria. So, like, I think there are things on paper, like, there's at least 2 matches I want to watch, right?
I mean, look, I'll be into the Jade and the Naomi just based on storyline and based off of the curiosity what they're going to do with, the stipulation. Obviously, Io and Rhea is going to be good. Like, that's going to be the same. Like, if that one ain't good, you pack it all up, right? The 3-way
Nikki Bella will be in the Battle Royal.
Who is? You said Nikki?
Nikki.
Okay. So then the 3-way between Becky and Lyra and Bayley, like, yeah, those 3 matches are like, all have storyline implications all through them over time, over a long amount of time, or whatever else. I'm interested. I'll watch it. Like, when I get back home on Sunday or whatever else, I'll throw it on either Sunday or Monday. But it's just, that wasn't a priority. It was Saudi Arabia was a priority. That's what it was.
Yeah. So one up versus CPU says, how do you have a women's pay-per-view without Stephanie Vicker or Julia? So I think right? Stephanie's in the Battle Royal. She's already been announced. Julia, not sure about that.
Yeah, I imagine Battle Royal.
But yeah, like, back to AEW. I think they've done a really special thing in a time where it seemed to be very difficult. And, I guess we should talk about the actual Dynamite 300 now. Which, what a fucking show, James.
Yeah.
I saw so many people.
How do you have people complain about our all-star tags after seeing that fucking match? What's not? You don't want to see another one of those?
Monopoligging.
What's not clicking? You don't want to see another one of those? What's wrong with you? You insane?
Yeah, so we opened up. Hangman came out there and he issued a Texas Death Match challenge. So the main event for All In Now will be Texas Death. They're going to be in there scrapping it out. And then I imagine 50-11 niggas about to run in. So basically, Hangman was like, I've said plenty about this company and how much this championship means to me. I would ride through death itself for this. Cute little line. He basically, affirmed his commitment to win the belt at All In. He said, you can wrap a chain around my neck, you can hang me from the sky, but you'll have to kill me before I let this chance pass me by. So he's out there rhyming for it now, James.
Yeah, also, that has to happen in the match.
Yeah.
Moxley has to hang the Hangman, and he has to survive it in a way that he didn't survive versus Swerve.
He then directly challenged Jon Moxley. Moxley then came out with Marina. He was, real calm. He cut a really good promo here too. Said, you want to put all your chips on the table, your life, your health, your career in a Texas Death Match. Moxley basically, was like, basically saying you ain't ready for all that. Texas Death is not something you will walk away from. And at this point, I think everyone in the audience is like, hey, man, the last time y'all did this, Hangman whooped that ass, brother.
Hangman hung you and you tapped out immediately. Yes.
Yo.
And it was like, it's one of those things like, you know you don't want to do this. And it's like, do you think he doesn't want to do this or do you not want to do this?
Right. So it exploded from there. Hangman slapped Moxley. They got to running it. Page took the upper hand, pulled out a fork that was in his jacket. So you already know where his mind is at. Then Wheeler Yuta and Claudio came back, who hadn't been seen in a while. They started whooping his ass. Marina Shafir came in. As Paige kind of cleared them out, and she ended up slapping this man several times.
Yes.
And Wheeler Yuta kind of tripped him. After that, it was like they walked off, and then Heyman was like, is that the best you got? Send your little neuter lapdog Claudio after me because bitch, I'm still standing. Claudio's pissed. Gets back in there, but all of a sudden Samoa Joe's there, and then Shibata and Hobbs walk out from the side of the crowd, and they all got their op shirts on. Hangman's in the ring, but Marina's behind him. Tries to hit Hangman with her briefcase, but a smart babyface, he turns around and grabs a briefcase from her. I thought he was going to open the shit, but I was like, no, he's not going to open the shit because he would be blowing like the fucking angle if he opened the shit. He said, if you're the champion,
gives a fuck about, but whatever.
Yeah. He said, if you're the champion, you say you are, give me Texas Death. Moxley was pissed and just, he couldn't believe it. And he was like, all right, you know what? Fuck it. It's on. Hangman then is like, all right, cool. Walks out the ring. And he's standing on the apron. He was like, hey, man, just to show you that I'll do fucking anything. Check this out. It did this big as a buckshot lariat to Marina Shafir, and the crowd fucking explodes just in jubilation of watching this woman get her head taken off. And Heyman went out of his way to call it the AEW Men's World Championship. This is equal opportunity right here.
That's his second time doing that. His promo after beating Ospreay, he did that as well. I had noticed that. I just forgot to mention it.
Yep. So, He's been doing that for years, actually.
Okay. I'm just saying he's done this. Was the first time he's done it in this run towards the title.
Yeah. So Marina got his ass, got knocked the fuck down, and the Heyman, just like Kenny Omega last month, was like, "Hey, is an equal opportunity out here."
So, yeah, man. So you mentioned that they're saving the opening the briefcase thing for Sunday or Saturday, presumably. Have you ever seen Pulp Fiction?
No.
So the beginning of Pulp Fiction is Samuel L. Jackson and John Travolta go and retrieve a briefcase from a group of people before they slaughter them in their apartment. But when they open up the briefcase, you never see what's in the briefcase. You just see them open the briefcase and you see a yellow light shining off the briefcase onto their skin. but you never see what's in the briefcase ever. So you don't know what it is, right? So like, if Hangman had opened up the briefcase in, it should have been like just like Pulp Fiction, where all of a sudden like you just see a yellow glow over Hangman's face. Also, I'm thinking of like all the gags there could be, like if someone's
opening that shit is a blinding light.
I won't think no better yet, like the Keith Lee fireball.
Oh my god.
but no, like Hangman Page wins, and like they don't do this, but they go backstage and they say they have an identical one, and they make sure before they go out there that the belt's in there. But when he comes to the back, they showed it like this is the one that we would show you. It's like it's like a gag. It's a gag briefcase. All of a sudden, it's just dildos in the briefcase. Like we could have like imagine like Moxley, like another thing, like the joke of like Moxley, like all of a sudden he loses, all of a sudden he thinks I got the belt, and all of a sudden no, whatever's been in the briefcase this whole time, or they got switched out, and it's like it could be a bag of shit in the briefcase. It's just something that's like will just leave you feeling disrespected, and like this man won this belt or whatever else, or this man opened the thing finally or whatever else, and it's not actually in there. That's some WWE shit. But my point is like, I'm thinking of all the perverse things that can happen once he opens that box. Or opens that briefcase. It would be fucking hilarious.
Oh, you would have lost money if you would have had One Nation Radio as a show to be talking about sex toys inside the briefcase. You would have lost.
Bottles of baby oil. It could have been anything, man. Let's see. The mannequin Al Snow's head. It could be any prop gift or prop gag
anything could be in there.
Thing. Any of it.
Holy shit. I like the Texas Death Match stipulation.
Love it.
It's gonna make it stand out. I think end of a long show. We know they've kind of written the story. There's got to be, as much as I would rather just see a one-on-one match and it be what it is. They've set up for some Avengers Endgame type shit.
Oh yeah,
right.
Brother,
it's about to be niggas. Shit, you might be running in the match. It might be get a tap out there. Hey man, you want a piece of John Moxley ass for what he's been putting you through? It might be fans hitting the ring.
Texas Dep, brother. That shit may as well have said. Oh my god. What is the name of that shit Roman Reigns be doing in WrestleManias? What's Tribal Combat? What does he call them shits? Tribal
Combat match.
You finna get one of them with all them run-ins. Brother, in my mind, look, I haven't talked to you about this, but I'm gonna wear my Sting shirt to the stadium. I'm expecting to hear that fucking Metallica Seek and Destroy.
I think he'll be there.
Yeah, no. During the match, not just,
same.
Yeah,
same.
Young Bucks get involved or whatever else. Darby comes out, they beat up Darby or whatever else. All of a sudden, oh my god, I'm already ready. Look, it'll work better than the Undertaker because he actually has smoke with them niggas.
Yep. Sting's got to come out. Everybody's got to come out, really.
Yeah.
Barring some some kind of blow up. When we'll get to it with the Swerve and Ospreay thing, it's I don't know if I feel like Swerve has to be involved in the main event somehow, but I just don't know how. Exactly.
Yeah.
It's all right, because what if they lose, and then it's he's coming out later, but it's okay, yeah, you can say
the Young
that.
Bucks get involved because obviously they. At Page beat the hell out of one of them in Arena Mexico, so they're gonna get involved, and their handpicked champion is Moxley because they screwed Swerve during Revolution. Swerve, Swerve can't challenge for the title for a full year. Yeah, Swerve.
So he might as well help Hangman. Hangman.
You can justify it as it ain't necessarily about Hangman, or it could be, but they can also fall back on he came out there and saw red once he saw them two niggas out there.
Yeah. A lot of ways they can go with it. I think they're set up. They're gonna pull it off. And if Hangman doesn't win, close the promotion.
Oh yeah, it's
Hangman doesn't win. Catastrophe.
like Dynamite 300 is great, and this promotion all down to this and a third. Yeah, one match decision shut it all down.
Yeah, amazing how that works.
Yeah.
I hope they don't try to get no cute ideas. Like, hey, we need to roll this over a little bit more. No, this is it.
No. Hangman needs to win here, and Ospreay needs to win in Wembley when they go back out there next year. The end.
That's what it seems like it's set up for.
That's what it needs to be. Period.
Did
we know they were going back to Wembley next year? When did we know that?
Yeah, they announced it actually last year, like where they were like, they will return in 2026 because they talked about Forbidden Door being there. Like I knew that this year.
The story,
but I knew it was always going back.
But the story about how Oasis took their shit and they were always going back or whatever else, like, should we have known back then during Double or Nothing that like, oh yeah, Hangman's winning here because they're going to put the shit on Ospreay a year later? Should we have known that?
I don't know. I guess it makes sense. In
retrospect, it's like, yeah, of course.
Right.
Yeah.
We got a TBS championship match between Mercedes Moné and Mina Shirakawa, and this was a hell of a match too. This I think was even better than their Dome match, and it was a real showcase for Mina where she's an immediate kind of person that's like has to be accounted for, I feel like, and it really shows the depth of the AEW women's division. I think if they did a all women's AEW show, I feel like it would kick Evolution's ass personally. If you like Mina Shirakawa is like what, your 8 hitter right now? Like, come on, man. Like, you know. So
I think honestly, like, I think both of them companies have a lot of women's wrestlers that are talented. And like, because AEW, both of them, because of like time issues, whatever else, they don't get enough shine like they deserve. But yeah, man, like you definitely got a point. And I will say, I think this is, I said this to you. Maybe this was after the Athena match with Mercedes earlier this year, where it was like, hey man, like it seems like her matches are getting more indie-rific, and like I don't say that as a negative, I say that as a positive. I like it. Like when they both kicked out at 1, I'm like, wait, what? I loved it.
I mean, she trains with Amazing Red quite frequently.
Right.
That would lead to that.
Right. Are they related?
There was just no.
Okay.
There was just enough. Amazing Red's Puerto Rican, but there was just enough in this match where like I felt like you could have bought Mina, like you bought a near fall from her, and you bought like the submissions or whatever. I thought, and this ended up with Mercedes basically, getting the inside cradle and. Getting the win.
Can we talk about the one spot where Mina hits her with a big elbow? It drops. It turns Mercedes around. She hits her with a elbow to the back of the dome. It drops Mercedes to her knees, and then Mina proceeds to then just fucking roundhouse kick a kneel like across the back of the head. Oh my god, I fucking love that so much. I had that clip saved in my phone. Oh, it was great. I was like, yep. Like, this is a woman that watched all that shit and just like, I can't wait to wrestle these people when I get the chance. And every time she wrestles one of these starting wrestlers, she has a fucking field day. I love it so much, man. I love it so much.
Lightsaber Jr. says, fam, Mina hit her with a 5-piece combo.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Like, yes, the last piece was that fucking kill shot that she hit her with. Yeah, man. Get her. I mean, maybe not. I don't know, but like, can I see a Mercedes and Shuri match? Can I see that? See what that looks
like? Shuri's like,
if she willing to wrestle Mayu and get that forehead dotted, if she willing to wrestle, and catch a fucking hidden foot from Mina, why not?
I mean, Shuri is not in Stardom right now. Like, she's announced a sabbatical and talking about she's going overseas. So it sure sounds like a call might have been made. I sure hope so. I see Shuri coming AEW, bitch. I don't know what I might do. So, yeah. Good grief. So we got a video package with the Young Bucks. They returned to their roots in Rancho Cucamonga, California. I know two things about Rancho Cucamonga. The Young Bucks are from there, and next Friday. I thought they would.
Okay.
I thought they would allude to like, hey, this is like where, our neighbors were or whatever. Some shit that would have been funny. But Nick had they got a custom limousine, basically decorated with Bucks graphics. He said he went on a shopping spree with a company card. And then, Nick was basically saying, actually, I'll correct you. I didn't buy us anything. Tony Khan did. I thought that was funny. Bunch of Young Bucks sneakers inside the limo. Nick basically was like, the power we have, Matthew, is incredible. They're like just clowning. They pull up at the fucking park. And they get on these fucking swings and they're swinging and then they flip off the swings. I'm like, these niggas doing flips during vignettes. Like, it's hilarious. They talked about Matt. Basically, he recalled one memory. He said, you remember that one time you told the proctor to suck it, so you got written up for shoot? That happened. Then, they talked about there was nothing like hopping in a stretch limousine and driving around your old poor community and just flaunting your wealth. And then, they went past their childhood home and said we had ghosts there. Then this is not the last we would see the Young Bucks. 4-way match for the number 2 spot in the men's gauntlet. We got MJF versus AR Fox. Brody King versus Anthony Bowens. No Billy. Now this was awesome. I thought this match was a blast. I thought AR Fox was great. I thought Brody King was great. I don't really think Bowens stood out, unfortunately. And it's kind of a tough road for him because, like, what his push is like? It's like they're pushing him like they can't afford to fuck it up. So, like, they're basically treating it with the kid gloves, but it's like, nah, man, you got to actually give them something and give them like a feud or a rivalry. And then what they're doing with Caster, on the other hand, is like there's no pressure on Max Caster at all. He gets to just do this kind of one-note gimmick of 5 minutes, who can survive the best wrestler alive, and then he comes up with the chance. He gets to talk every week. He gets fucking over. He's so much more over than Bones right now. It's crazy. A smart show told you months in advance what would happen while everyone was begging for the Anthony Bowens solo push. It's like there are not the resources for him to get over, it seems like, just because unless you're going to like up his level of competition, like, and you're going to like Danielson would be perfect if he was available right now for Anthony Bowens. And like, imagine if Danielson just walked up to him, just slapped him in the face, and be like, "I want to see if you're a pro wrestler or whatever." Like it's some Inoki shit, and then it's on from there. Like that shit would rule. Like I think this guy, like, until they put substantial resources into him, they're not gonna find out what he has. So I would just like to maybe that's a little bit on him too.
I would just like to put the show in part for just a second, just so I can like think of how many segments every week I can get out of Danielson walking up on someone backstage and slapping the shit out of them. And like, how long can it go before I eventually say enough? I'm sick of it. It might turn. It might turn into Jeff Jarrett guitar, where it's like I can't stand Jeff Jarrett until the guitar comes out and someone gets hit with it. So I don't know, man. I don't know.
That'd be funny as shit. Danielson just walk around and challenge people and just slaps them. Like, I want to see where your heart's at, essentially. Speaking of people that's gonna run in, oh yeah, get ready.
Yeah,
but yeah, I like this match. I thought Brody King was really good in it, and it's like, the guy will never be the world champion or anything.
Right?
That's fine, but he is a valuable guy, and I think it's always cool whenever he's in there doing things.
What is the situation with Buddy Matthews' injury?
I don't know. It's been a long time
because they will be
talking about him. He had an ankle, right?
Something like that. Because I'm just thinking like they'd be perfect for for the tag team division right now.
Yeah. MJF ended up winning. He got Fox into the Salt of the Earth, but there was like a ton of like, just frantic sequences. And this, like, Mark Briscoe basically come out and he was like, he came out in his shirt, the pickle shirt and all that.
I told y'all last week what it was going to be. This is going to turn into some Vince McMahon bullshit or there's some Vince McMahon like perfect storm of a comedy thing or whatever else. And then what did they do? The very next week he's coming out with kosher pickle merch. I told y'all.
One Up versus CPU says Danielson should totally do passion injection matches. That's funny. Exactly. That's the exact concept. Yes. Passion injections. Yes.
Oh my God. So for those that don't know, the Nana Takahashi, one of my favorite Joshi wrestlers of all time, she when she showed back when she now elder statesman post her prime after her ankle and knee surgery, she would have matches in Stardom and in Marigold with younger wrestlers or mid-card wrestlers for whatever reason, and they would be called passion injections because she is the passion monster. Her gimmick is she yells passion, and it's fucking hilarious every time she yells passion. So because she's also like this super kind of high energetic person. It seems like she like drinks. It seems like she lives off Red Bull. Anyway, so like these matches are like almost like extended showcase squashes where like she's going to win, but like she's trying to give people like she's gonna beat the shit out of someone until the crowd gets behind them from working underneath. Like and it always works. It almost always works. So yeah, Danielson coming out here and beating the shit out of the locker room would be fucking hilarious. Like, in fact, you could make an argument that like when he was wrestling like Guevara and he was wrestling Garcia, those were passion injection matches. And Yuta, those were passion injection matches. Like technically, they serve the same purpose. It's like get this person over, show them they got heart by them going up against somebody that they should not be able to hang with, but they happen to hang.
Briscoe basically said he wants to meet MJF face to face, and they're gonna have a talkie talk. And then it got chanted. The talkie talk. They're advertising it as a talkie talk next week, so they're gonna have a promo battle, James, next week. He said, if you have a set of nuts next to your tiny little pickle, I'll see you next week. Then Jet Speed ran out, stormed the stage. My God, this whole thing here. So the Hurt Syndicate's back there or whatever. Jet Speed came out. Tried to jump on him, but this ended up an ass whooping for the Jet Speed. Basically beat the hell out of him, and then Kevin Knight just was like, "Hey man, we ain't done." Essentially, I still want it. All y'all bitches, essentially. And he challenged Shelton Benjamin to a singles match at Collision that got turned into a 3-way with Nick Wayne. And then that's setting up a 3-way tag at All In, which we'll get to later. Then
awful segment.
We got the Hurt Syndicate thing. It was just like, damn, again. So it's like, all right, are they just beating their ass like to be like, all right, we're just knocking them down as low as we can so they can come back fiery next time? I don't know, but it looks like the optics ain't great. It don't look right. So, Heroes and Villains Trios match. PWG is alive in Southern California. The Young Bucks and Konosuke Takeshita. Takeshita officially gets his tassels teaming with the Young Bucks against Bandito and the Paragon of Roderick Strong, Kyle O'Reilly. So this was just like, when I was watching this, I was like, this is AEW right here. This actually reminds me of the main event of All In some ways. Not as much high flying, but still just incredible work. Just incredible maneuvers. Takeshita is like the world's greatest base in the world, doing all the power shit for the Bucks. Bandito's in there. They're setting up their match and whatever. Go back and forth. Strong and O'Reilly are fucking awesome. And the Kyle O'Reilly's Takeshita shit is fun. The Bucks are doing their fucking, like, basically, like, they just turn their fucking eyes or they turn their fucking brains off and roll out with these. This was incredible, bro. Like, I love this shit, bro. Like, it just felt like the timeline converged to give us this shit. It's like I saw Strong and O'Reilly coming out. I was like, dog, I remember when they were the tag team champions of NXT. They were raw as fuck, and I always want to see them versus the Young Bucks. I thought that shit would have been like amazing or whatever at that time. And then like they're in here with them now.
And then Takeshi, like, oh yeah, if they ever do have a fucking match, it'd be fucking awesome.
Yeah. And then Takeshi and Bandito, like they're setting up the ROH match, and you know, if you're going to ROH to see that, that's a hell of a treat right there. This could easily be on All In. It could easily be on whatever show.
I expect them All In than some of the matches that are on All In.
Yeah, about that. But yeah, this fucking ruled. Like, and this was like a staple of AEW Dynamite, a fucking hot super trios match.
Bro, what was the finish? Wasn't it like, okay, he has him in like in an Everest German position. He has him. I'm sorry about
wheelbarrow indie taker.
No. Bastard driver alley oop into what does he call it? Meltzer driver or whatever the Meltzer driver is called without the flip. Then he lifts him up. They both super kick him, and then he fucking Germans him over his head. Like that shit was fucking nuts.
Yeah.
Jesus, that was awesome.
Yeah,
awesome.
It was amazing. After the match, though, the tensions boiled over. Will Ospreay and Swerve came out and ambushed the Young Bucks from last week. They wanted an answer regarding their match for All In. Swerve basically cleared up all confusion. He said, "Hey man, we ain't got no interest in becoming EVPs."
Did he listen to us? Is that
he had to?
Like what does that mean? I still expect the Young Bucks to show up with some gimmick titles, with some gimmick belts. I'm still waiting for that to happen. They got what? How many days? 4 days, 5 days to get that shit done.
Commission them belts by Dan. Get them. So
why would you say that? I thought of Dan Coffin.
Oh man,
it's like Dan making belts. That'd be hilarious.
So Swerve said he don't want to become no EVP. He said there's only one person that runs this company, and that's the chairman and CEO, Tony Khan. Matt Jackson was like, we're EVPs. You aren't. You want an answer? Hell no. However, Will grabbed the mic and basically was determined to get this match. And he said, hey, man, I got a counter offer for you. He said, how about if you guys beat us, me and Swerve will not challenge for the world title for 1 full year. Crowd goes, big gasp and all that because they're thinking about 1 year. What could that mean? And then the Bucks was like, hey, man, you got a deal, but you got to get Swerve on the same page. There was some hesitation from Swerve, kind of shot Ospreay a look like, what the fuck, bruv? So this right here, Swerve basically was like, you got a deal. And, we got the EVPs versus Ospreay and Swerve not challenging for the belt for a year. And this is perfect in so many ways, right? I think we imagine the belt's going to Hangman Page. I think there's several fresh challengers that need to get elevated that I think they've kept kind of they're putting them in the cooker right now. Like someone like Ricochet is going to definitely get a title shot. Yep. During the middle of this year. There's a couple other people too. I can't think off the top of my head, but with Swerve and Ospreay potentially losing this, and I feel like the Young Bucks are going to win now. Like with this whole thing, it just makes too much sense. Wembley's next year. Will and Swerve can either become a tag team. They can become closer, become a tag team. They could grow apart where one of them can turn on the other. They could have a year-long feud with each other, essentially, that culminates in the Owen final next year or whatever between Swerve and Will. They did a draw to help set that up, a couple weeks ago or whatever, like before they, team up or go their separate ways or whatever. The rest of the incoming matches are kind of set up from there. I think everything's on the table. I think, this could be, I think Swerve might be headed, I could easily see him turning, and just being so fucking pissed at Ospreay and just snapping and killing him, essentially.
Yeah.
I think there's like, it's always a risk to turn someone, but I think Swerve and Will would be so fucking good, and then you give them the dynamic of babyface and heel. Then I think there's something there, and they've got a year to figure it out, and then culminate it on the other side. And then how does Heyman kind of relate to these guys if they help him win? If both of them help him win after they got fucked, and like, hey man, you hold that shit and we'll meet you or whatever. And it's a race, or it's a race between Swerve and Ospreay after a fucking year of Heyman clearing everybody the fuck out. Like, there's so much, like, and they're bringing it up. It could be a 3-way at Wembley with these 3 guys who are like, the 3 guys essentially. I think it would be, I kind of think that's the main event next year. I think they're doing a 3-way with Ospreay, Swerve, and Heyman at Wembley next year for the belt.
Could be. I can see that. I don't know how they get around the Double or Nothing stuff. Or sorry, the Double or Nothing stuff, but like the Owen, basically deciding who goes or whatever else. Maybe they blow it off earlier. But yeah, there's a lot of intriguing things they could do with it. Like you mentioned, like they could break up, they could turn Swerve back heel, they could win, right? Like, but either way, like after all 3 of those guys were in the ring together for the screenshots and for Tumblr, like it was obviously like, and we've been talking about this for a while, like those are the 3 guys. And the reason why, and one of the biggest reasons why the Death Rider shit did not work or sucked at the beginning was because like the actual top babyface in the company were not facing them. It was the mid-carders or the young pups, and it wasn't working. Or people that you just can't necessarily buy. You can buy in the main event, but aren't the main event, right? You can buy Orange Cassidy in the main event, but you can't buy him as the main event. Regardless of how awesome I think he is, it's just I don't think an average person would be like, oh yeah, they're definitely going to build him up one day. Or let me phrase that, would have built him up at that particular time. So, yeah, I think we're at that, and also, and even when they threw in the Jay White into the match with Paige, that was a disaster of a match. So now that we're back here, is like the table is set for them to build the long form story for what Paige, Swerve, and Ospreay all do to get to All In 13 months from now next year.
You heard it here first. I'm going on record. I think they're going to do a 3-way, and I think it's going to be basically like, you finally get to see Swerve and Heyman for the belt. You get Will in Wembley, which we already know. Like, we know Will has been trying to do this, win the world title in fucking epic fashion. He might win it in the most epic fashion possible.
He's been building towards this since like 2022. Since 2022. In that G1, he's been building his long form story to have a world, this long form babyface top title chase, and then follow with will probably be some all-time title defense run or title reign. But he's been building towards this in different promotions for a long time,
bro. And he has the guys that like he has the stage set to like tell this story. That everything he's done in the promotion thus far has got him this over or whatever, right? Yeah. And now he's going to get the other part where it's like people are going to live and die with Will. I think eventually, I think it's slowly getting there because they're living and dying with Heyman already. I think they're living and dying with Swerve at this point.
And in the whole story of this is like he's the most clear moral consciousness of this whole thing between the 3. We gotta. Yeah. It don't matter which one of us 3 is it. We just gotta stop Moxie and Death Riders. All y'all shit over the years. I understand it. I get it. Tough shit. Suck it up. We gotta move forward.
Yeah, I get really excited at thinking about like what this next year could be like because it's like it's such such an easy story or whatever. Like, and then it's like you keep guys in parallel rows. That means you make the card stronger overall, where you have whatever Will's doing, whatever Swerve's doing, if they're together, and then you have Hangman running in a parallel lane or whatever, just beating the shit out of niggas and having great matches at pay-per-view on top.
Yeah.
Like, it seems really fucking easy.
Yeah. Like, we talked about this before, different runs of American television where they've had like three top heroes and they're all functioning well. And it's like, it's fun. Like that little short stint when you had John Cena, CM Punk, and Danielson. Obviously, I'm not comparing I'm talking about relative to promotion. Like when you have 3 top babyfaces that the crowd believes in, and they're not, and none of them are doing like absolute dog shit, it can be really fun. And like right now, if they're all sitting there, all their separate paths, like you literally have like between the way Mercedes is cooking right now and Tony Storm, like it's a lot of cylinders that are firing right now.
Yeah,
like it's you know, we're already at that past the honeymoon part of AEW where like their rewards and everything, and else we just ignore them because we're having so much fun, even though the top end, you know, just kill some of the stuff. But like the roster depth, like the amount of like history a lot of acts have in the company now because it's been around long enough. Like people that are just like sure shot money, right? Like any of those guys versus Darby Allin is sure shot money. Any of those guys versus Orange Cassidy, sure shot money. Any of those guys versus Omega, all-time classic program you're expecting, right? Like, there's so much stuff to do. The Fletchers, the Takeshita's, the Okadas, like, there's so much stuff to do with those 3 throughout a whole year. So much shit to do. MJF, when MJF actually pulls his hat off his ass when he wrestles those other, at least 2 of the other 3s. We haven't seen Swerve yet, but the other 2, MJF brings it in the ring. So, yeah, like, he'd be on his best behavior when he was on 3, because he recognized that, like, oh, those 3 are different.
Yeah, and then we got a Heroes vs. Villain tag match, Swerve and Will against Realistico and Beast Mortos. And this, you know, was another Swerve and Will showcase match. No, people are mad at the Beast Mortos here, apparently, for, you know, ending up on these shows, because, you know, they're fucking worked. But, yeah. This rule too. Like what else?
How dare one of the best wrestlers in the world end up on a pro wrestling show?
Yeah. Like, you know, this rule too. Like, what do you want me to say?
This is fun. This is really fun.
Like,
yeah.
Like Ospreay and Swerve do this cool handshake that they have where they grab the wrists and stuff. So that feels like some superhero type shit or something like that.
Probably. I missed that, so.
Yo. So after that, we got a main event. James, we got Kazuchika Okada versus Kota Ibushi. And man, I fucking loved it, bro. I came on this show at the beginning of 2024 and gave a eulogy for Kota Ibushi.
Yep.
I'm going to get the shovel. I am removing the tombstone. I am undigging Kota Ibushi from the grave. I am pulling him out the casket. Look, he's not Kota Ibushi, right?
Who cares?
But this guy, I almost got emotional watching this because it was like, this guy gets to express and do his shit, and like he's doing it to a level where you can see what made him special or whatever. And it was like, I think Dave ended up giving this 4.5. I would probably want 4.25 or something, right, or whatever. It doesn't really matter. The point was, it got over, like, they had a fucking great match. Okada felt alive and vibrant, and like Ibushi felt like he has. I think what had me fucked up with Ibushi was like, I felt like he didn't anticipate the contact well and his striking, and he was botching, and Kota Ibushi never fucks up. So like, it was strange, and I was like, oh, his strikes are there. He's anticipating the contact. I think we're good to go. And then they just kept turning it up, and it felt like, you know, kind of a G1 match in a sense. And then, you know, we saw that Tiger Driver off the top rope.
When that Tiger Driver hit, I was like, he's fucking back. And I was like, not only is he fucking back, I was like, this nigga Okada took that. it was a lot of stuff we talked about. Like, bro, if this match goes off, it means two things. It means that we fucking got one of our all-time favorite wrestlers back from the dead, and two, get ready on Saturday. Get ready on Saturday.
Look,
dude. Look, Okada's liable in front of all the damn people to take that fucking dragon suplex on top rope again, Rich.
You might try it. Oh
my god, I could not.
Bro,
believe.
I felt so good seeing Kota Ibushi like regain like basically like his wings for his 40s essentially, and it's like he's here again. And you can use him, and he's awesome.
I'd have to think about it, but this is way up there as far as most satisfying matches of the year for me. Like, because, and to be fair, right, you look at Okada's cage match this year and compare it to his cage match last year, there are people that are saying he's washed or whatever else, or there's something going on. You can just look at the quality of last year to this year, you'd be like, oh, I see why you feel that way. Like, people are, because of what's going to happen the first few months, minus like the Bayley match and another match, like it's been a lot of just fine wrestling matches as opposed to like last year when like, you got killer matches left and right. So out of him. So now people are doing the whole like he's Nakamura thing. Is like, nah, Nakamura ain't got one of these. No. Nakamura ain't got no Bayley match. Nakamura ain't got no Pac match. Nakamura ain't, ain't got no Danielson matches. Cut the shit. So, yeah, man, I get it. But yeah, man, this
looks like he's been training hard too. He looks like he's in real good shape going into the match. So I'm expecting another all-time classic from them. Like Okada and Omega ain't never disappointed me ever.
But it was one of those things where it's like, I never had no issue, but like the part where it's like he doing that for Ibushi. What do you think he took that for Ibushi? What do you think he finna take for Omega? That man, they finna go nuts, man. And I'm glad I'll be there. Because, when we went to New York, we thought we were going to see that match in 2019, and then it happened. And then, and lo and behold, we're going to be there for the match finally in America. That's nuts. Like, we've been waiting on this. In theory, we've been paying and flying around for this match for 6 years.
We've been chasing this shit down.
We've been chasing this shit for 6 years. That's kind of insane. So,
like wherever this shit was at on this continent, I was gonna be there. I'm like, we going to Washington, or I guess we going there then. Shit.
Yeah, man. So I'm super happy, bro. Like this.
Oh, y'all having this shit in Wyoming? I will be there.
But yeah, man. I mean, you gonna visit Kanye?
No. But bro, Kota Ibushi, bro, like, and it's like after the match, Okada wins.
The thing I like about it is like that match clearly. They were not trying to have the best match they could have. You could feel like they were not, because given the finish, given the strengths of the TV time, like when the time the match came out to the ring, I didn't know how much time they had like after the overrun. I was like, wow, they had a great match, and they still felt like they left shit in the chamber for whatever, and they were like trying to build a story of like, because Omega had to come out. So I was like the whole time watching, like,
this crowd,
it was great.
The crowd totally understood it. The crowd totally knew who the fuck they were watching with Ibushi and Okada in there. They knew this was a fucking Tokyo Dome rematch. Like, this is the crowd that it should have been in front of. And it felt really gratifying to see that,
Yeah. So, like, for me, it was like, I was just watching the match, like, Ibushi don't look washed. He looks good. He looks good. And then when Murder Ibushi came out, I was like, I'm like, uh-oh. And then when that, we talked about it, like that fucking Tiger Bomb, I was like, oh my God, he's back for real. Oh, he's back for real. I missed this for so long. Oh boy. AEW, thank you for existing, man.
Yeah.
I remember I probably pulled the clip to rewatching, but like I'm pretty sure while you were telling me this shit, I was kind of in disbelief, like feeling bummed out about you being like you was like it's over for Ibushi. I was like, man, and in my mind I was like, nah, man, he's been injured and he's all fucked up. Like he's gotta like give him time to recoup. Like obviously he might be too dumb to realize he needs to rehab the shoulder fully. Rehab this bad fucked up was it ankle or whatever else.
Ankle.
Like maybe he's just too stubborn and dumb to figure this out. But seeing him back here, I was like, oh, okay. And man, like, I will say this, Rich. I'm glad that you came on this show and admitted, like, you know, you're wrong because boy, I was wrong. They was on Ibu's ass in them and going pull up old tweets, and then he went out here defending like, well, you know, just logically he looked like shit. It was like supposed to be like, you know what? You're right. I was wrong. He wanted to explain himself. Don't explain yourself. Just say, yeah, you're right. I was wrong and move on. I'm glad I was wrong. It's okay to be glad you was wrong.
Yeah, man. Like, I will never forget like watching that Noah match, and it was just like you literally saw someone die but still be alive. Like it's like hold on, man. Like, but this leads to the Don Callis fit.
Before we get onto that, sorry. Ibu spent more time explaining his reasons for that and justifying it than them wings.
Oh, you stupid! You stupid!
Am I wrong?
You stupid! I have not heard an explanation for the wings.
I have not yet.
I have not.
Them extra creamy garlic wings. Garlic Parmesan wings. I don't see no garlic. I don't see no Parmesan. All I see is ski.
I remember the first time I got some wings like that, and then like I didn't know they were gonna look like that. Like you order them from like a pizza place. About the pizza place has wings too. All right, give me some of the garlic Parmesan or whatever, right? And then they send you those joints, and I'd be like, "What the fuck is this? Like, what the fuck is this?" So like, no, man, I need that shit caked on. Like, as far as like,
get. Don't be ordering wings from the pizza spot.
Yeah, you gotta just.
You now know this. I figured I thought that went without saying, but now you know.
Yeah, no, this is a long time ago, but
okay.
Don Callis family comes out, and that's Archer, Rocky Romero, Don Callis. They want to whoop Ibushi's ass after Ibushi loses to the Rainmaker. And then that fucking battle cry music hits. This crowd fucking comes unglued. Kenny Omega's back. Hair wild. Brandishing the steel chair. Saves Kota Ibushi. Trent Beretta tried to sneak him, but Kenny was like, nah, that shit ain't working. They did a German suplex and powerbomb combo. And the Golden Lovers were reunited once again. And I was pumping my fist in the air. The Elite fucking run this business once again. We had the Young Bucks all on this fucking show. Hangman, the Golden Lovers.
Yep.
Us, nigga. Us, the Elite, nigga.
Like, the only Young Bucks shirt I've ever bought was that Golden Elite shirt when Ibushi showed up for Blood and Guts. That's the only Young Bucks shirt and Omega shirt I've ever owned. Is that. Actually, include Heyman too. It's the only Elite shirt I've ever had. I've never bought any
elitism. Yes.
None of it.
Elitism.
Never. And I was just like, hey man, Ibushi puts it over the top. So for me, super happy. And I didn't even think about that part, but yeah, like all of, Golden Elite is back except for Cody.
That's fine.
And look, Cody is the top. Cody is the top baby face in the other promotion.
Sounds like the Elite run this business still.
And he's one of the few things in WWE that's like actually consistently does well. It's like him and Gunther and Drew McIntyre, and that's it. Everybody else is at their heads up their asses at different points of time. Yeah, as you mentioned, man. The Elite run the business.
They're always great. And then eventually, we're going to get a Golden Lovers run. We're going to get Bucks and Golden Lovers again. We're going to see maybe Ospreay and Swerve against the Golden Lovers or something like that. We're going to see tons of shit like this. Like, now that Ibushi I know is like worth a damn, it's like,
yep.
Oh, this another all-time great tag team just falls out the fucking sky. Like,
and it also gives Omega the opportunity to like not have to like be a tag wrestler, opposed to like have to do very, very hard singles matches.
Yep. So, at the end of the day, this shit was an excellent fucking show. I heard great things about the FTR and Outrunners match. I have not seen it yet, but Floyd was very high on it.
I keep hearing so much good stuff that I'd be like, I'm gonna have to watch it despite my obvious pessimism or dubiousness over it. Like, really? Okay, if y'all say so.
But I think they're in a great place as we pull into All In. So, like, let me take a look at what is confirmed.
Severs Rogan said that match was so good it's baffling. He's like, it defies odds and logic.
So, yeah, man, we got 8 matches kind of confirmed right now. I think there's another match getting added tomorrow that I heard about, but I don't know what it is yet. So we'll start with Toni Storm versus Mercedes Moné, singles match for the AEW Women's World Championship. Biggest match for the women in company history. This is a really big match in its own right. Toni Storm, longtime champion, 4-time champion, top star. Mercedes doesn't lose, tons of belts. Really, like, as goofy as, like, you know, some of the stuff with the food is and all that. This is really, you know, this is a classic pro wrestling story. It's like, you know, longtime champions you've kept apart for a long time, and somebody's has got to go, damn near. Like, someone's belt, you know, it has to go, and if it does go, it would be Toni Storm's. But I don't feel like Mercedes is going to win. I think this is the time when Mercedes lays it down. I'm going to go with Toni Storm.
I think Mercedes, I think this is her time. I think this is, and by her time, I mean, like, she's going to have her own magical M crown. This might not be the only belt that is, like, available to her by the time it's time for the PWI Women's 150 shoot or 250. Like, I think this has been perfectly set up for her to have, you know, just to make so many people mad and upset about nothing.
Oh, man, I would love it. I would love it, man.
I gotta give a fuck about the Rev Pro Women's title. Cut the shit. Stop it.
Yeah.
Stop messaging Sean Ross Sapp and arguing about her having fucking creative control. Like, it's so funny because he mentioned, like, earlier that when Omega was Trent was going behind him and he just avoided. He's like, nah, not happening, brother. I'm not putting that. It's like, in my mind, I thought to myself, he's like, no, I'm not going down to have favorite nations. Like it's like Mercedes, like, people act like Mercedes is like, yeah, you know, she comes in and this person has a belt, I need 2 belts. Like, stop it. Relax, man. Like, these people want these promotions and everybody else want to work with her because of the attention she draws and how good her matches are. And that's fine. It's okay. It's not going to be forever. Eventually, she's going to have to get these belts back. So, she already has given 1 belt back, but people don't want to acknowledge that. But whatever. But yeah, man, this match is going to be good. I don't even know what a match between those two and what the way their characters are at right now, like what it's going to look like. But, I mean, just giving my faith in both of them in big spots, like, I expect them to have a great match.
Same. I think this is going to be, for a good portion of the audience, they're going to be like, it feels like a chapter 1 between them, like, whatever.
Oh, they have to have another match.
They can do multiple matches.
I mean, unless it goes as bad as Mercedes' last match at All In.
Highly unlikely.
Yeah, I seriously doubt that too.
How about that news cycle that came and went with her this past week?
Oh,
incredible!
Yeah, incredible. I think she got the word out there. Like, no, I didn't. You know, I'm not trying to leave. Whatever. It's like, so did you not realize that you posting that was going to immediately make people think that? Do you not know how
they don't be thinking, dog.
Works?
Oh, there was one other thing I wanted to say with Mercedes. I need Mercedes to have a special interest, and she has 2 options for it, right? Uh-huh. I saw a video of Manami Toyota, and she had women carrying her belts out in front of her to the ring or whatever, right? Now, either Mercedes can make a phone call and get some of the Joshi homegirls in here to carry the belts to the ring that she has, or she needs to have a bunch of like, she's done this before, kind of like where she had showed up with the security and shit. She needs a bunch of big buff neck niggas carrying the belts out for her, essentially, like, as she walks to the ring. I think the visual needs to happen. We need to recreate the Manami Toyota entrance. I feel like I need to send somebody a message to at least get it pitched. So, you know, maybe they have their own plans, but I sure would love to see it. Singles match for the TNT Championship: Adam Cole versus Kyle Fletcher. All-in rematch. Well, this should be a demolition.
I keep seeing people saying that online. Is like, they're going to have a good match and Fletcher's going to win. But like, the whole he needs to squash him like he's like it's fucking SummerSlam 88 and it's Ultimate Warrior versus the Honky Tonk Man. Is like, okay, man, relax.
Yeah, this feels like Kyle's.
Yeah.
You know, I kind of think Kyle should be getting in the unified belt rank thing. I think you could get away with, you know, not putting the TNT on him. Like, eventually he's the person that beats either Okada or Omega. We'll get to that in a minute.
Perversely, I think I've said this to you off air. Like, I need Fletcher, or if and only if Swerve and Ospreay are to lose on Saturday, I need Kyle Fletcher to then win the TNT title so that he can show up on the first program he's on available to run down every city, street, and landmark and avenue and boulevard that Ospreay is on, talking cash shit about how he's a fucking loser. He's lost another opportunity, and I'm the champion. You ain't got shit. And I just can't wait. I just can't wait for that. And then Callis comes in and hits him too. Oh, that's gonna be funny as shit. Yeah.
Three-way tag for the I'm picking Kyle Fletcher.
Same.
Three-way tag for the AEW World Tag Team Championships. A Hurt Syndicate against Kevin Knight, and Mike Bailey, and then the Patriarchy, Christian Cage and Nick Wayne. I can smell the political jockeying for this one a mile away. Christian Cage and the Hurt Syndicate in the same match. That's incredible right there. I wonder what that sounds like when they're putting this thing together.
So I'm assuming Christian Cage and Nick Wayne break up here. Nick Wayne takes the pin, and then they do the actual match that people actually saw them do a program for over the past couple weeks between, I almost said Private Party, Jesus Christ, between Jet Speed and Hurt Syndicate. Because what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
What the fuck is this?
This seems like, all right, we got Hurt Syndicate, we got Jet Speed. We don't want to beat them yet. We got this other story we can service. We can put somebody in there to do this fall. Just how Christian got put in there to do this fall to help the story with Copeland and Moxley when there was no obvious job doing
the
there.
Cash and shit? Yeah.
So Nick Wayne will probably end up getting pinned here by, you know, one of the big ball dudes. And then Jet Speed will have to get it down the road, and then we will cross that bridge if we ever get there. So
yeah. It's gonna be funny when they get that match at I don't know, the Blood and Guts show, and then they fucking lose. It's gonna be just great. And it's gonna be some uncompetitive match where they only get 20% of the offense before they lose too.
Oh my god. I look forward to hearing the theme song in person, though, at the stadium. That's about it. So we've got the men's casino gauntlet
hold on. Before we move on, me and Rich have came across secondhand information that some actual real players in the AEW tag division want to work with Hurt Syndicate. And my response to them would be, no, the fuck you don't. Stay away.
Yeah.
Stay away. Yeah. Stay away. For your own good. And I don't think me and Rich have ever said this about y'all. For your own good. Stay the fuck away.
I look, this is what I thought their strategy was at the moment right now, but I don't know. Maybe they've not as forward thinking as I had kind of thought. But
this is really what they want. It sounds good about whatever your plans was until the bell ring and they be like, oh my bad. We'll get you next match. They finna slap y'all so skinny with y'all black asses. No, stay your asses away. And they ain't even black.
Yes.
No.
Men's Casino Gauntlet. We got MJF and Mark Briscoe confirmed, and just also confirmed Mystico. So adding them for the walk up. Mystico's in the Battle Royal. I hope they play Mero. I need to hear it in person. I need to see what it feels like. So
they need to have Mystico on Dynamite on Wednesday.
Oh, he's wrestling Beast Mortos on Collision on Thursday in a singles match.
I also need him doing something MJF to build up that he's going to be in the thing or whatever else.
You know what they're gonna do? They're gonna do this shit at the anniversary show. I'm pretty sure.
CMLL anniversary show?
I think so. And they're gonna use this to build this shit up. And then like MJF gonna get that cut.
Anniversary show in CMLL is what, in November, right?
I think they're November. I thought it was September, but I'll look.
I know it's in September.
September. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, might be
September 19th. It will be there.
Okay.
If MJF is fighting Mystico in a Apuestas match, that is a must-see match.
Oh, we're covering that. We're covering that week.
It's the day before All Out. Okay. Yeah. So we've got the Women's Casino Gauntlet. Don't know who's in it yet. We'll see. Actually, no. There was another match we did not cover. There was a 4-way, I thought.
Who's 1 and 2 entrants in the Gauntlet?
I think it's Chris Statlander.
Right.
And then the second one was they did that on Collision, I believe. And it was a 4-way with Anna J.
Okay, go home,
no, not
Dynamite.
Anna J.
It's determined.
Oh, second one didn't happen yet. Okay, I saw it advertised. It's like Tekla, Queen Aminata,
right,
some shit like that. Yeah. It's loaded. And they did an 8-woman tag on a Collision. Yep. Okay, and we got that Swerve and Will Ospreay versus Young Bucks. I saw Swerve's jacket. It's hard. I think that this is going to be one of the best tag team matches in the company's history, which says a lot. It has a chance. It's going to get time. If the Bucks lose, they're stripped of the EVP titles. Swerve and Ospreay lose. It's much more interesting with Swerve and Ospreay losing and seeing what they do for a year. Mm-hmm. So I'm taking the Young Bucks here.
Yeah. Yeah, because like even if the Young Bucks were to win, they could still continue with knowing that you have Blood and Guts in the back pocket to like have them get a win back and all that kind of stuff. So yeah. But the match is gonna be fucking great though.
Yeah, it's gonna be like anytime. Like, and Swerve mentioned it in the promo, I think last week, he's talking about year after year. This is like the third summer, kind of like where he's had to go at it with the Young Bucks. Like when he had the tag belts with Keith Lee. They're working with the Bucks a lot. Working with Bucks obviously last year during the Blood and Guts stuff and everything, and then this summer here, working with them. So that combo typically goes the fuck off. So we've got up next Okada Omega 5. We're fucking finally here. We haven't really talked about who we think is going to win or what makes sense to happen, but man, I don't root for Kenny Omega in all 4 of them. I ain't changing now. Kenny Omega. Go ahead and, unify these hoes, get the new belt. And,
So, I think Okada is winning, but I'm, for the first time in any of this stuff, like, it's like, hey man, I can't, whatever side Okada's on, I'm on the opposite. This is how this goes. That is how this goes. So yeah, I am not rooting for Okada in this match. It's like, as a fan, I'm be like, look, man, I can't. I'm sorry, Okada, but I can't. You hanging out with that fuck nigga, I can't. It goes against every fiber of my being. It goes against the cloth of my soul. I can't.
They did do a red herring, kind of like a possible Okada to catch the match, but
they've been teasing it for over a year now.
Look, there's not a bad winner here, but
that's true.
I feel like Kenny's ahead in the series right now. I don't know if there is intention to necessarily like even it out or anything like that. Okada's never fucking loses. I
think his last loss is to Danielson when they did that match last year. Maybe. Wait, no, I'm sorry. He had to have lost
in the C2. During
C2.
He lost to Fletcher in the C2. Stuff like that, but it was like dirty finishes. I saw people talking about they should let Okada kick out of the One Wing Angel in this match. It doesn't feel like that time. That look, whenever Kenny Omega does that, that's like an instant break the scale. So like, if he wants to like cash that in, fine. I don't feel like the situation necessarily calls for it. I feel like that's like,
I think that is safe for Adam Page or Will Ospreay.
Yeah, something like that. Like it feels like when Kenny's about to lay it down, like
right.
that's what I'm saying. I think a lot of the Omega interview, like he did the interview with Dave, like he's kind of doing that thing like how Danielson does, where he's like talking about how beat up he is, and he can't really do it for much longer, and then like you see him, and it's like, hold on, bro, you trying to work me.
He's been doing that for a long time, and also he actually has been taking. He's had 2 long hiatuses in AEW, so yeah.
A lot more believable.
Yeah.
I think it's Kenny time. And then he will probably have a couple more good defenses and probably eventually reform the Golden Lovers after that.
Sheamus Nova said the kicking out of the One-Wing Angel is going to be saved for Nick Wayne in 2031. That's funny.
That's hilarious.
I do not think Kenny Omega's wrestling 2031, but okay.
No, there's no fucking way. I think Kenny can probably make it to the end of the decade, and he's gonna be like, "All right, I'm good." There's no, or I do not think he will have a match after 2029. Let's say that. I would be shocked.
Yeah.
Look, I welcome it. However long he wants to go, but yeah, I would be highly shocked. And then main event, Texas Death Match for the AEW World Championship: Jon Moxley versus Hangman Page. People flying in for this match. I think it's, definitely push tickets. Just looking at how they built the big four on this, like with Monet and Storm, Moxley, Page, Okada, Omega, and then Swerve and Ospreay against the Bucks. That's a hell of a top 4 on the show. I think stands up with anything. And this is going to have people living and dying and rooting for someone to stand up at the end of the day. And prepare for a movie. Like, people talk about the cinema shit. This shit's gonna be a movie. Like, I think you're gonna essentially see the history of AEW in this match. Like, anybody that's like been connected to this, I feel like is eligible to make some type of appearance. Like, I wish like Chris Jericho was like in the fold right now to somehow like, because these are the first 2 guys like he worked with for the championship, and like he was involved in some way or whatever. To where it's like, even if it's like a small backstage role, be like, ask him what he thinks about the match or some shit like that. But I think there's like so much potential for guys to do all the interferences, get all the pops, and they're going to just set off all the fireworks, like literally and figuratively. When he wins the belt, they're going to set them shits off, and they're going to be setting the fireworks off like throughout the match. All the payoffs are coming. This is it. And I think we will then have to, like, however this is received and how good it is, we're going to have to ask ourselves the questions, was it worth it? You're muted.
Yeah, people are going to do that, and my answer is going to be no, because it was 8 months. I'm sorry, it was 9 months. It only stopped sucking 2 months ago. So no, like
the middle chapters are very bad,
like, bro. People were on here, or people were on Twitter, like trying to like AstroTurf this title run, and I was like, oh, so I see you show your Orange Cassidy, you show your 4 matches, you show your Orange Cassidy and Moxie match, you show your Samoa Joe Cage match, but like you're gonna leave out like that Swerve that's sitting there with like a fucking 3 on Cage match. You're gonna leave out that 3-way at World's End. It's like a 2 on Cage or 4 on Cage match, whatever. I was like, no, man. Go look at that. Go to Cage match. Look at all his defenses. His 7 defenses, and you see that like 5 point something average. No, cut the shit. This was not worth it.
So Hangman, presumably getting back on top of the company, and it's almost like the portal is like resetting itself. How that shit, like they open up the portal to hell by like having CM Punk beat that man for the belt, and everything has been like this. It has been another realm for Hangman Page ever since. Like he had to watch Swerve walk around with the belt. He had all this other shit, and he's finally gonna make this shit whole again, and run it. And
so
I'm very excited to see what he does with it this time.
So the Moxley, the 9 months of this Moxley run has sucked, right? This is why I said last year when people were upset that they chose Danielson to win the Owen. I was like, Page is this brand new character. He hasn't even fleshed it out yet. He shows up after not being around for months. We don't even know what the fuck this is going to be yet. Let him get to where he's going to be and let him cook, and we can figure out where he's going to be with this character. And you made the argument that, because they chose to go with the Danielson thing that leads to the Moxley thing, therefore it's all a bad idea. They never should have done any of it. I would say, we got Danielson and Swerve in one of the greatest matches of all time. In one of the best feel-good moments of pro wrestling the last 25 years. And now we have this thing right now with Ospreay and Page and Swerve that's going to carry on to next year at the latest, or at least for one more year. And we have Page on somehow with a babyface title chase that is more important than the first one he had in AEW. I don't know who was wrong in retrospect. I don't know who was right in retrospect, but I think ultimately, I think both sides had their valid points on all this. And I gotta say, I enjoy Adam Page as a character a lot more now than I had back during that run, during that title chase. He's been to hell and back. He's had all-time rivalry with that. He's found new friends. He's lost his way. He betrayed people. He's making his steps back towards redemption and all that kind of stuff by trying to save this belt from this fucker, Moxley and Death Riders. And this has been fun. And he had an all-time match with Ospreay to get there, to set the table for it too. So yeah, man, I think that
if he fries it up the second half of the year, he could run away with the Wrestler of the Year quite easily.
Oh yeah, I expect him to Wrestler of the Year by this point. If he wins the belt and then he, the pay-per-views do what they're supposed to do, or he gets the right level opponent or whatever else. Yeah. Because it's it was going to end up being either Mox, or not. It was always going to end up being Hangman or Ospreay, whoever won at Double Nothing was going to, be Wrestler of the Year. Yeah, that's kind of how it was, in my mind, how it was headed. So, yeah.
Yeah, man. I'm predicting a title change. Anything else is
Are you
asking for...
So
I wonder what the part is going to be where they make us think they fucked them, because what's going to happen.
Yeah. So my one, I want to think about that. I was thinking of something different.
They're saying Goto erasure. Goto been erased. He's not in the G1.
Yeah,
he's hurt.
Yeah.
He erased himself. Yes.
Yeah. So I was thinking about this. I want to say yesterday. So he wins. Everyone's happy, and you hear Justin Roberts says, "Your winner and new AEW World Champion, that empty-headed dumb fuck." I thought about that. It'd be compare the two. Who's empty-headed dumb fuck? This motherfucker laying out on the Saudi Arabian map. This is Riyadh season, or Adam Page. I'll let y'all tell it.
Yeah.
Who's telling lies now, punk? It's gonna be great.
like there's going to be a lot of victory lapping. I think on the timeline, there's going to be a lot of, bringing it back, asking for updates.
It's going to be cathartic for a lot of people.
It's going to be nasty. I hope to see it all.
Yeah.
So bring your best. I like this guy. He always had it. Fortunate to meet Hangman this year, and I told him what I thought he meant to this promotion, and I felt like when I looked in the guy's eyes or whatever, it felt like a guy that he has all the talent. Everyone always says it around him or whatever, that talk about him, that advocate for him. Like, people in the office know it, the wrestlers fucking know it, but it's like, this guy, like, it felt like he just needed somebody to tell him that he's doing a good job or something like that. I don't know what it was or whatever, but like, I'm very happy. Should he climb the mountain again? Like, this guy's gone the long way with it.
So are you? I don't know if you realize you did. Are you saying that you are what inspired Adam Hangman Page to reach his full potential? Is that what you're doing right now?
Absolutely. It was me.
All right, it's time. I think it's about that time. Boy, it's out the mode. We got Rashawn McCants. Get the fuck out of here with this nonsense.
It was me, personally. So, Hangman Page, I'd like to thank you for being inspired by me.
That was easy. I want to do it. Kobe's 81. What? Get him out of here, man. All right, y'all. Thanks for listening. That's the end of the show. If you are watching from the stream, be sure to go to our show notes when the podcast is up and go to the link to Red Circle and you can donate there. And be sure also to check out Chop Tees for our One Nation Radio store. We got merch there. And be sure to listen to other shows on the network. Besides One Nation Radio, you have Keepin It Strong Style, All Things Elite, AEW Match Generator, Imps WWE Adventure, the Trish and Sarah Wrestling Podcast, Tunnel Talk, and Wrestling Art with Chris Thing. Thanks for listening, y'all. Later.
We'll see y'all in Dallas.
Buying a car in Carvana was so easy. I was able to finance it through them.
Whoa, wait, you mean finance?
Yeah, finance. Got pre-qualified for a Carvana auto loan, entered my terms, and shot from thousands of great car options, all within my budget.
That's cool, but financing through Carvana was so easy.
Financed. Done. And I get to pick up my car from their Carvana vending machine tomorrow.
Financed.
Right, that's what I said.
You can spend time trying to pronounce financing, or you can actually finance and buy your car today on
Carvana.
Financing subject to credit approval. Additional terms and conditions may apply.